At the start of the film, we see a small island, and there was a small watchtower on it. And in that watchtower, our hero Mason Michael used to live, in which, while coming there, he was looking at a boat. In that boat, some people used to come to take his luggage for a week. And when that boat came near the island, Mason was keeping an eye on it from a distance. And from the boat, a man sent his niece Jessie to go to the island, who was a 10-year-old girl. Then Jessie came and kept her luggage outside Mason's house. Along with that, she used to bring a small gift for everyone, so that they can be friends with her customers. But Mason was not interested in these things, and Jessie left from there. And this thing went on for months. And we saw Mason, who used to live peacefully with his dog in his house, and he just liked to play chess there. One day, Jessie came again to give the parcel. Then Mason was at his house that day, and Jessie knocked him from outside and called him. Mason came and saw Jessie there, and Jessie says that I have been bringing things and gifts for you for many months, but still you never talk to us. Mason says that you don't need to come here after today. Then Jessie says that why are you showing so much attitude? Mason closed the door there. Jessie left from there to go to her uncle's boat, but at that time, a very big storm had come, and in the same storm, both the boats had overturned in the water, and Jessie was drowning. Mason saw the boat drowning from the outside, and Mason took out his boat, and he quickly jumped into the water to save Jessie. He met Jessie. Along with that, he saw that his uncle had drowned and died there. Mason brought Jessie in his boat, and then he was trying to pick her up. Jessie came to her senses. Mason brought her home. Then Jess's leg was badly injured, and there Mason said that your uncle is dead. Jessie was very sad to hear this. The next day, Mason woke up, and then he saw Jess's wound, which was very deep. Mason bandaged it. Jessie asked that you contact someone in my family. Mason says that everyone in your family is dead, and I know that you only live with your uncle. Jessie asked that how do you know so much about me? Mason says that your uncle was my friend, and we both served together in the Navy. Then Mason went to finish his daily work. Jessie did not trust him. That's why Jessie found a knife and kept it with her for her safety. At night, Mason saw that Jessie was having a lot of bad dreams. Mason came to him, and Jessie grabbed Mason with a knife. Mike calmed Jessie down without fear, and he started teaching her how to protect herself by holding a knife. Slowly time was passing, in which Mason took care of Jessie and started taking care of her like his daughter, and he also fed her good food. Jessie also liked to play with Mason's dog, and Mason was happy to see this. Jessie named Mason's dog Tommy, and she also knew how to play chess. One day Mason came and saw Jess's wound. His swelling was not going away. That's why Mason decided to go to the city of the nearby island and get new medicines. And that's why Mason left from there in his boat. Mason was coming to the medical and taking his stuff. He was completely hiding his face from the camera. On the other hand, we see a man named Sam in the London court who had made a special program whose name was Eva Adams. And in that Eva Adams project, by hacking every person's phone, MI6 agency used to keep an eye on them, with which they used to get a lot of secret information. And all these things were against the rules of humans. This was told by the judge. Then Sam says that because of the same program, we have stopped a lot of terrorist attacks. That's why the government should thank me. The court asked him to close his program and asked Sam to retire. Sam came to talk to Prime Minister Danny Daniels about this, and Danny already knew the importance of the EVA program. But for now, Danny told Sam to retire because for now, elections were near, that's why he couldn't do anything. Then Sam agreed. On the other hand, Mason came to back and bought clothes for Jessie, and he left his videos showing zero civic sense from some influencers, because of which, on the other hand, in the Eva Adams program, in the influencer's video, we found out about Mason, which was seen by the new director of MI6 Rose. And in that video, Mike's face was different, but he was told that he was an international terrorist who had done a lot of bomb blasts. Then Rose says to send his team to catch him. The next day, Mason treated Jessie and gave her a bandage, and Jessie was very happy because of the new clothes. At night, the two were eating their food. Mason started getting air from outside. He came out and saw that a lot of officers were coming in a boat. The officers came to the shore and went ahead. Mason attacked all of them with his hidden move, and the officers saw Mason there and fired at him, and Mason get injured, and Mason started hitting all of them, in which no one was able to stand in front of Mason's speed. Then an officer entered the house, and Tommy attacked him, and the officer killed Tommy there. Jessie went to kill him. The officer caught, and he left from there. Till then, Mason was hitting the other officers there. Mason see Jessie, and he shot the officer and saves Jessie. And Mason came to Jessie and said that we have to leave from here. Then Mason came and saw Tommy, and he was sad to kill him. And Mason came back there, and he left with Jessie with his stuff. Ross was shocked to see this whole fight from the camera, and he didn't find Mike to be an ordinary terrorist. And then, he decided to send the most dangerous Delta officer John behind him. On the other hand, Jesse saw that Mason was injured, and he asked who were all these people. Mason said that they are all connected to my past. Then Mason taught Jesse how to use his gun, and he entered the nearby house to treat himself, and a boy see him there. Then his father came from behind and caught Mason on the gunpoint, and Jesse also caught that man on the gunpoint, and because of Mason's injury, he asked to help him. That man agreed. Till then, Ross found out with his team that the photo of the terrorist they matched with Mason. Actually, he was not Mason, and someone had matched his identity with the terrorist. In addition, his profile was deleted in Mason's old file because he was dead, and Mason was actually an old MI6 agent. Then Ross was shocked to see this information, and now he had to find out about this from Sam because there was no record of Mason's work there. Sam also found out about Mason's survival because of Eva Adams. Then he was shocked. Then Sam directly messaged John that Mason has also become a black-eyed Delta ops like you, and kill him as soon as you see him with the girl. On the other hand, that man treated Mason at home, and Mason was leaving from there, but the son of that man had also called the police there. Then Mason asked everyone to hide in the house. The officers had come out there. Then Ross' eyes were on Mason, and then the officers went ahead. That man went to run, and there John killed that man with a sniper, and Mason pulled his son back and saved him, in which Mason told him to stay there, and he went ahead with Jesse from the back road. But there were still officers there. Mason beat up all those officers a lot and took their gun, and then he stole their car and ran away with Jesse. Then John attacked Mason's car, and Mason crashed John's car there, and he took his car and left from there. But John was saved in that. Then a woman and a police car came in front of John, and then John killed that officer there and took that woman's car and left from there. Then Ross called Sam and asked about Mason because she wanted to know why did they delete his file. Sam told her that years ago I had made the Black Kite Ops Department, whose first officer was Mike Mason, and his job was to kill the worst people in the world. I gave him the job of killing a foreign officer, Rick, because he was a big threat to the country, but Mason refused, and maybe he had met that bad officer. That's why he separated from us. And he was the most dangerous officer among the officers I trained, so I sent as many officers as possible to kill him. Then Ross agreed but didn't believe what Sam said. Then she found out with his partner that the Rick who was given the job of killing Mason, he was a scientist, and he had made medicine for cancer in his country. But Sam decided to kill him at the behest of the big industries, because if he got the medicine of cancer, the business of those industries could have lost millions of dollars. And that's why Mason didn't listen to him. He went against the agency. Then Sam also saw these things with the camera, and he understood that Ross was not going to trust him. On the other hand, Mason and Jesse were moving forward. Then Jesse asked, "Are you taking me to your family?" Then Mason says that I don't have any family because they are very dangerous, and now you have to stay away from this danger. Then they both came to a church. Then Sam also saw their photos from the dash cam, and then he sent John to the location there. On the other hand, Mason came with Jesse and saw a man named Rick in the church, who was Mason's first handler, and he was an IT guy. Then Rick asked Mason, "Why is this little girl with you?" Then Mason says that she was with me at the wrong time, that's why she's stuck. And there they both hacked Eva and activated her. And there Rick found out, why is MI6 behind Mason? Because one of his identity has been exposed, and he was turned into a terrorist. Then they both understood that this was Sam's. Then their Mason says Rick to keep him with him, because he had to end the danger, but then Rick refused. And there Jesse sees his medicine, and she says that he has cancer, and he is going to die, like my mother died. Then Rick told. He also found out this 5 months ago. Then Mason was very sad. And there, they both decided to take Chad's help, because he was a very dangerous Korean mafia, and only he could help them. Rick was preparing the car outside. Both inside, Mason and Jesse was in trouble, because John had come there. And then John and Mason started fighting there, in which their fight was very dangerous and brutal, and Mason injures John. Then Mason took Jesse and left with Rick in the car. John was also shooting at him, but he couldn't stop them. Then Jesse asked, "Who is this man?" Then Rick says this is Mason's youthful form, which now works to kill people for MI6. Then Jesse says, "Why can't I stay with you?" Then Mason says, "I have a lot of danger, and there is only one way to stop it, that I have to end that danger too." Then Jesse promised Mason that he will somehow survive this danger, but Mason couldn't say anything. At night, they both came to a bar club, in which due to Eva both were captured in the camera. Sam and Ross also found out this bar club, and they decided to send their teams there. Then Mason came to the bar club and met Chad, who was a very dangerous man, and he was shocked to see Mason because he thought Mason had died years ago. Then Mason says that you have to send this girl to Spain with a new identity, and you have to pay a lot of money so that she can be safe. But Chad refused. Then Mason says if you don't do this, then girls are hidden in your containers. His information is with my hacker, and if he gives information to MI6, you will lose millions of dollars. So you decide what you want to do next. But then Chad told Mason to wait. Mason was sad because he was sending him to Spain alone. There Chad came and gave the passport and money, and went to the shore to meet his goons who were going to lead Jesse to Spain. Then Mason agreed, and Mason and Jesse were leaving the club. Then many officers had come out, in which Sam and Ross, they came from both the teams. Then Mason came forward and started killing everyone one by one, and he had laid corpses in the club. Then an officer caught Jesse and took him, but Mason asked Rick for help, and he hacked the camera and told that Jesse is in a black van outside. Then Mason came out and started killing all the officers one by one, and Mason came and saved Jesse. Jesse was sad, and she also understood what danger Mason was talking about. And then they both left from there. Then John see them, and he also started following them. After a while, they came to the shore. Then they saw the boat of Chad's men there. Then Mason asked Jesse to stay safe in Spain. Jesse told Mason that in all these years, only you have been able to become my family. Then Mason says, Jesse, you calm down. I am sending you away for your own good, and I promise that nothing will happen to me. Suddenly the bullet was fired there, and Mason throws Jesse into the boat, and the goons took Jesse and left from there. Mason see that John had come there, and they both fired bullets, and then their bullets ran out. Then they both started fighting, and it was raining punches, and this fight was between Black Kite and Delta Ops Officer number 1 and number 2. Then their John was beating Mason completely, but Mason proved that if a lion is old, then also he is a lion. And Mason there killed John with an iron rod and killed him. And then Mason left from there. The next day Sam was at his house, and he saw outside that all his guards were dead. Then Sam understood that Mason has come home. Mason met Sam there, and Sam says that you were my best weapon, but then you stopped following my orders. Then Mason says that if I wanted to kill people for money, then I could have become a contract killer. Then Sam says that we always have to hide in front of money, and still you can work for me. We both together can handle MI6. Then Mason says that if I wanted, I would have done it 10 years ago. And Mason shot Sam there and killed him. After a month in Spain, we see Jesse, who was in a restaurant, and there Ross was keeping an eye on her because of Ava. Then Ross thought that Mason is not going to leave Jesse like this. And there the camera went up. Then Rose understood that this will be Mason's work, in which Mason from outside in a gift to Jesse said Jesse's queen, and left from there. And inside Jesse knowing that Mason was alive. Jesse was also happy. And with this, the film ends here. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.